क्योंकि वो जो पैशन होता है ना काम करने का, अच्छी बात है पैशन का होना, बट जब वो पैशन ऑब्सेशन बन जाए तो वो गलत है। क्योंकि हम लोग इतना तेज भाग रहे हैं ना इन इन द वी आर ऑल
हाँ.
कॉट अप इन द डूइंग एस्पेक्ट कि क्या करना है, क्या बनना है, उस पर कोई फोकस नहीं कर रहा।
People often mistake presence with being loudest in the room. So, if we talk about the different aspects of executive presence, the most important aspects that can help building in executive presence. Because at the end of the day, आपको अपने साथ भी तो जीना है, घर भी वापस जाना है. आप अंदर से ही अगर खाली हो जाओगे या खुश नहीं हो, तो यहाँ पर भी अच्छा नहीं करोगे, घर पर भी नहीं करोगे, 24/7 फ्रस्ट्रेटेड भी
वही
रहोगे.
तो हो रहा है ना, वही तो हो रहा है जो आप कह रहे हो,
Hmm.
वही हो रहा है।
Hello, I am Muskan Kapoor from StartupTalky, and in today's conversation, we'll be exploring into a quality that is hard to define but impossible to ignore. That is the executive presence. What it truly takes to own a role without having to raise your voice. So, in this conversation, we'll be discussing about executive presence in detail. We'll be unpacking about leadership, impact, influence, and the silent cues that shapes and builds perception. So, joining us today is Miss Samira Gupta, executive presence, leadership communication, and life coach, who has been coaching CXOs, senior leaders, and entrepreneurs to show up with more clarity, confidence, and impact. So let's get started. Okay, hi Samira, how are you doing?
Hi Muskan, I'm doing great, thank you so much. How are you today?
I am very good, thank you.
Excellent.
So, Samira, just to begin our conversation, I really have to start with something that actually genuinely intrigued me about you while I was going through your
Mhm.
LinkedIn. Okay. I noticed that in college you have done your BSc in zoology, and then your journey happened, the corporate, and now into the executive
Hmm.
presence. Sabse pehle, I really want to know the story behind this. Seems very interesting to me how somebody studying so different in college landed up here. What was your thought process at that moment कि मुझे क्या बनना है and how you are eventually where you are now?
Interesting question. And I have to say that in many years, nobody has really asked me this question, how I got here, how I started out. So I'll tell you that, yes, I studied zoology. I did majors in zoology. And after that, I have done a lot of different things, Muskan. And I would
Hmm.
say that most of the stuff that I did initially was not planned. It just
Okay.
happened. Okay. So from after completing zoology, my interest started in the apparel industry. So I studied
Okay.
textile designing. Okay. And my work, initial 6 years, was in the apparel industry where I worked with various brands on merchandising, exporting, working for a lot of international brands from India, where we put the labels here, JCPenney,
Hmm.
Walmart, Gap. So
Right.
the garments were all made here, labeled here, and then shipped outside. So that's what my first career was. And after that, I got transferred. My husband got transferred to Goa. And by then, I had two little girls. So when we shifted to Goa, there was nothing in apparel. And I was like, oh my
Hmm.
God, what do I do now? I made the decision of moving with my husband because I had two little girls and I didn't want to stay back. And we lived in Goa for about 4.5 years. That's where my sales journey started. So I learned selling under Britishers. Okay. And that was, I would say, the best part of my life because I learned to sell. And from there on, industries changed, products changed, but my sales career remained constant. Okay, so I was doing hospitality, and then I did um, life insurance, then real estate. Real estate was the longest
Hmm.
career that I had. Okay,
Okay.
and how did I land here? After 24 years in the corporate world, in the 24th year, which was about 11 years ago, I've started thinking that this is not what I want to continue. I wanted to build something of my own. I wanted to do something more meaningful. I'm not saying that real estate was not good. I did well for myself in every single job. And today I can say that it happened because I didn't know this at that time, but I know it now that I always operated from an entrepreneurial mindset. So I took up whatever I took up, and I made it a success because I owned it. I had so much
Hmm.
accountability and responsibility, a lot of passion, a lot of grit and rigor. And in the 24th year, I started questioning all of it and said, what am I doing? Who will cry when I die? So I wanted to
Yeah.
create something of my own. And that's when I took a plunge and I jumped into my first course, which was image consulting. And when I started doing image consulting, I was working with clients and I was giving them a brilliant outer transformation. And I realized that something was amiss in the inside. There was no inner confidence, there was no inner clarity. There was a lot of limiting beliefs that were holding people back. And that's when neuro linguistic programming happened, the NLP, and then executive coaching, um, a lot of other things that I did, life coaching, all that happened. And here I am, in the last 11 years, I have coached over 500 people in the senior level personally, and over 200,000 people on the training front across the globe. And I work with a lot of big companies, national, international. And yeah, the only thing I can share with you right now is I hope I would have started this much earlier. So, in the last 11 years, I have learned things that I didn't know in my corporate career. So, whilst I was very successful in the performance aspect, in the work aspect, but I think in the interpersonal aspect, empathetic communication aspect, um, you know, connection aspect, I missed out a lot, which I have understood now that if I had known all of this, then I think I would have done much better.
That's a beautiful journey altogether.
Yes, thank you.
This makes me curious to going back a little back more.
Mhm.
Okay, if you talk about the little Samira at home while she was growing up, all right. So, what simple things like manners, the basic etiquettes, how you should carry yourself, how you should speak, were that part of your life while you were growing up at home? Or you just grasped it all along the way in your life, work, career?
That's a very interesting question because surprisingly, yes, all of this was part of my growing up age
Hmm.
because I come from the Indian Air Force background. My father is
Okay,
an
nice.
ex-Indian Air Force officer, and all of these things were taught to us very early in life.
Right.
How people would call before coming home, how to eat with
Hmm.
the cutlery, how to sit straight on the table, how to dress well, how to greet the guest, how to offer, if they came home, there
Hmm.
were no servants to serve them. It would be we who would
Yeah.
be doing that. The whole bit of 6 o'clock in the evening, street lights on, back to home. You know, a lot of games, a lot of sport, a lot of social etiquette, was taught very
Yeah.
early in life. So I think all of that was very natural to me. And as I grew up and I saw that that was not really happening around me,
Hmm.
that was
Right.
also one of the major reasons why I wanted to get into this life and really help people understand how to eat well, how to talk well, how to walk, move around, build connections, build relationships. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question you've asked, Muskan. I think
Yeah.
somewhere
So,
deep down it was already there.
so you were definitely the kind of kid who would sit straight on the dinner table.
Yeah, we had no choice. We were made to sit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it came very natural to you all along the
Yes,
way.
yes, it
Hmm.
did.
Yeah, because I also feel ki we all are the products of a childhood in one way or the other.
Hmm.
So it somehow creeps in all along the way.
Sure.
So that's an interesting take. Thank you so much for that. Okay, now we'll get into the heart of a conversation. What we'll talk about is the executive presence. First of all, you have to tell me what exactly executive presence is. If you can explain it into simple terms so that anybody can understand it just from the ground level.
It's such a vast subject to put it in one line. I will have to think a little
Right.
bit. So, in simple terms, as the name, you see, as the name
Hmm.
goes, executive presence, it's mostly for leadership who is demonstrating or creating a presence around people. Okay.
Right.
So, executive presence is mostly important, I would say, for business leaders, executives, CXO level executives, entrepreneurs, CAs, doctors, lawyers, anybody who is working with other people must have a good executive presence. And executive presence is equal to clarity, credibility, trust, calmness, emotional maturity, if not more, at least this, right? So, executive presence is all about how you show up. So, are you conscious and careful of how you show up in terms of your overall demeanor, your dressing, grooming, body language, basic etiquette and manners, and how you speak up? Are you empathetic? Are you conscious? Are you intentional? Are you careful? So, if you combine all of these things, what thought are you bringing onto the table? What manners are you bringing to the table? What what is the way you hear people? What is the way you
Right.
respond to people? So, all of this would equal to good executive presence.
Okay. What I got is it's more about actually the feelings and not just one aspect. It's around also how you make others feel, how you feel in a particular place. It's very important, I feel. So, what even I think it's not just about the looks or the titles. It's more about a feeling, a vibe that people create with their presence. So, if we talk about the different aspects of executive presence, what would be that the most important aspects that can help building in executive presence?
So you're right. It's a feeling. It starts with the feeling, and
Hmm.
feeling of safety. If somebody's around me, is that person feeling safe? Is that person able to talk to me, ask me questions? Is that person feeling heard? Is that person feeling understood? Is that person feeling challenged, or is the person feeling encouraged? If you know what I'm saying. So if I'm creating
Yes.
that feeling in the other person, then I have a strong executive presence. But if I'm taking that away from anybody around me, then my EP is much lower. I may be excellent at work, but if I'm not creating that feeling in the other person that you are valued, heard, and understood, then it's low EP. There are several aspects, but I would say that the key aspects would be how you appear in terms of your appearance, your behavior, how you behave in a certain situation, under stress, under a lot of pressure situations, how do you behave? Do you still have the emotional control? Or are you losing it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, how quick you are in taking decisions? Do you trust yourself? And do you trust others? And then the third aspect is how you communicate. So, effective communication is something that everybody should do, but impactful communication is something that EP has, EP must have. So, communicating to create an impact. So, are you inspiring people? Are you creating an impact, something that registers in them? Are you able to speak
Mm.
like that? Are you so you have the content and then you know exactly how to tell a story, how to use your voice modulation, how to use your expressions and gestures, and really building on that and be able to communicate in an impactful manner. So showing up powerfully, professionally, respectfully, and also speaking up confidently and impactfully.
Okay. So it's more about creating a space for other people to understand you, how they feel in your presence actually.
Yes, that's interesting. But I have to also tell you this, Muskan, that EP is
Hmm.
about not making others understand me, but it's more about me
Hmm.
understanding others.
So is it more about like emotional intelligence having that
Yes, it definitely
in
is.
some way or
No,
the
no, you're
other?
right. It is emotional intelligence. So, how do you, emotional intelligence means how intelligent I am to understand the emotions of others. Right? So
Hmm.
if you are saying something, I have to not respond to it immediately. I have to first understand what emotion is behind it. What
Right.
feeling are you coming with? What's really happening in your world? So we talk about empathy a lot of times. Empathy is a very critical
Hmm.
aspect of executive presence. But what is empathy?
Right.
Empathy is curiosity. Now, if I'm not curious about you, I will never be able to demonstrate empathy. If you say something, I
Right.
can't say, hey, that's not true. This is how you should do it. That's one way of doing it. But I could also say, hey, that's interesting. Tell me more. What's
Yeah.
going on?
I saw the slight difference.
Yeah. So now I'm curious. I may not agree with what you're saying, but I'm more curious to know what's going on in your world. And that's when you
Yeah.
feel, hey, she understands me, or she's at least trying to understand me. And that feeling will create feeling of safety.
Yeah, because we see a lot of people now they are like, okay, this is how I am. I'm very honest. I'm very blunt. I'm very straightforward. So you take
Yeah.
it. It's all that way. But I think that is lack of emotional
True.
intelligence on their
True.
part because you do not care about somebody else's
Yeah.
feelings, where they are
Yeah.
coming from.
Because this is I hear this a lot of times that I know how things have to be done, so if I tell them
Yeah,
to just do it, they should just do it,
hmm.
because I coach a
Just
lot
do
of
it.
senior leaders who are extremely successful, but they are also quite low on emotional intelligence and empathy.
Hmm.
Okay, so there's a disconnect between them and the team, and it's important, and a
Right.
lot of newer generation, I would say, is also coming from the same space, that hey, this is me, this is my identity, this is how I
Yeah.
am, I'll dress like this, I'll walk like this, and I'll talk like this. But you see, the fact is that you are still dealing with people, and people are filled
Exactly.
with emotions and feelings. So are
Right.
you only going to take care of your feelings and your emotions and not about others? That's a little unfair.
Yeah,
It's a little unfair. Yeah.
definitely.
By doing this, I don't think they're taking care of themselves, because it's
Right.
probably a facade, because they haven't taken the inner journey, they haven't taken the awareness journey, they don't have the clarity on who they are, what their strengths are, what their value system is, what their belief system is. I don't think that they have taken that journey. So
Right.
what they put out in front of others is merely a facade, because someone who has
Hmm.
taken that journey is much more aware and conscious of what they're creating and how their act should be in the larger picture, to connect, to have a good presence.
Yeah.
So that's where it sort of gets missed out.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. It's just about taking care of other people's emotions too, so that you are on a balanced
Yeah,
platform. You'll do that, they'll do that. That's how mutual trust functions.
absolutely. Because it's always going to be reciprocity, always
Right.
reciprocity, because it's never one way.
So, speaking of this emotional intelligence and how people do communicate in such
Mm-hmm.
setup, people often mistake presence with being loudest in the room.
Hmm.
But I'm also curious about the people who are naturally quiet actually. Like जो कम बात करते हैं, who are not very loud, can they also have that strong presence?
Okay, so which one should I answer first? The first one or the second one?
The
First
first. We'll
one.
begin with the first.
Okay, so are the loudest people in the room strong on executive presence? The answer is no. Yeah.
No. Straight no.
Straight no. Straight no. Because they are doing it from the space of being seen,
Hmm.
pleasing, getting validation or recognition, or really making their presence felt in not the best way. Okay, so being loudest in the room does not establish your strong executive presence. So you have to be
Got
intentional, you have to be meaningful, purposeful in answering. If you have a valid question, yes, please raise your hand and please ask the question. Or you have the answer, please raise your hand and answer the question.
answer
But
the
if you
question.
just want to be the loudest, raising your voice, being that person who's always speaking up and not allowing others to really give, not allowing space for other people to do that, that's not strong EP. Okay, actually, your EP will be lowered by that act.
No.
Second one, if you say that are the quiet people, can quiet people
Hmm.
have a strong EP? The answer is yes. Most of the
Right.
successful introverted CEOs, are very powerful, very, very powerful. So
Right.
if you're quiet, because then now you are able to reflect on what is happening, and you will be thoughtful, and you will know what to say, when to say. And that doesn't mean that you have a lower executive presence. Only thing is, the introverted, when I work with introverted leaders, I have to work towards helping them speak up, you know,
Hmm.
and a lot of loud leaders, I have to work with them on speaking less. Yeah,
Less.
so it's both ways. So introverted leaders feel, and I've had this in the past, that they feel that they can never have a strong EP because they are introverted people. That's also a myth.
Hmm.
It's not true.
Okay.
It's not true. Yeah.
Their presence feel without even saying a
Oh
lot.
yes, you imagine it's in a like in a meeting room or in a group, someone walks in, okay,
Right.
and has not spoken a word, but that person,
And you turn
yeah,
your head.
turn your head. What happened? Because of the way that person walked in, the stance, the
Hmm.
stride, the well put together outfit, the confidence, head on the shoulder, you know, very, very confident, but very calm and quiet. That person, you definitely heads down. And then
Yeah.
you start speaking and you have that gravitas, that depth, you know, and
Hmm.
you speak sense. You're able to pause and greet people. You have this really good quality of voice, so
Yeah.
and you become charismatic.
So that's how your presence talks on its own without being saying even a single word.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Since you have mentioned already the term
Mhm.
gravitas, so we are going to get a little deeper into that. What is gravitas actually?
So gravitas actually comes from the word gravity. Okay.
Okay.
And what gravity means is the depth of knowledge. And when I say that, I mean, are you 5 questions deep? So if you ask me question after question after question after on a single topic, do I have the answers for all of that? So
Yeah.
gravity is actually substance plus character. So
Okay.
substance has to do with the knowledge of your domain. And I'm not saying you have to know everything on this planet, not necessary, but something that you are good at, something that you are expert at, your domain. You have to have so much knowledge that you feel confident and settled, because एक कहावत है हिंदी में, अधजल गगरी छलकत जाए, भरी गगरिया चुप पे जाए. Okay,
Hmm.
so if somebody has little knowledge, that person will keep
Right.
jumping at the response and will try
Yeah.
to show that I know this and I know that, and hey, look here, I'm talking.
Yeah.
But someone who really has the knowledge will be quiet but will speak up. And when that person speaks up, then there's a lot of wisdom that comes out, a lot of knowledge that comes out. So
Right.
gravity has to do with how much knowledge you have. It also has to do a lot with the character. And when I talk about character, the couple of things that I do want to touch upon is the
Hmm.
honesty, authenticity, integrity, and what else? And that builds your character. And because of all these things, you build a trust. You are able to build relationships. You are able to build followers. And
Right.
when I say followers, I'm not referring to the Instagram followers. I'm
Yeah.
referring to people who want to be like you, who want to
Yeah.
do stuff for you. Because
Hmm.
now you've established a likability, you've established a belief
Right.
and a trust. So that's
They
important.
genuinely look up to
They
you.
look up to you.
So, what do you think is the real source of gravitas? Do you think it comes from energy control, stillness, or something else just like knowing yourself completely?
Good question. It's actually a combination of energy control,
Hello.
stillness, and conviction, all the three. If you're nice to them, if you're gentle with them, if you're humble, if you're
Yeah,
careful, if you're that kind of person, then people will say, wow, I want to be like this person, so successful, but
right.
so humble. But I also want to say one more thing here, that
Hmm.
sometimes people misunderstand executive presence for being just a nice person. That's not true. That's
Right.
not true. Because having a high executive presence does not mean you will settle for mediocrity. It does
Absolutely.
not mean that you will compromise on the quality of the work, right?
Right.
So it means that you're able to push back and really show your teeth when you have to,
Yeah.
but in a nicer way. So you do
Hmm.
what you do, but what matters is how you're doing it.
तो पहले तो इनर वर्क करना सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है
हाँ,
और वही पेशेंस नहीं है किसी के पास।
क्योंकि हम लोग इतना तेज भाग रहे हैं ना, इन द वी आर ऑल
हाँ।
कॉट अप इन द डूइंग एस्पेक्ट, कि क्या
हुँ,
करना है, क्या बनना है, उस पे कोई फोकस नहीं कर, who we are
एग्ज़ैक्टली।
becoming in this process.
हुँ,
वो
भाग तो रहे हैं बट पता नहीं है कहाँ भाग रहे हैं।
So sometimes I give some self-reflection questions and exercises to my clients, and they are like,
हुँ।
"ये तो कभी सोचा नहीं, कभी किया नहीं, ये तो क्वेश्चन है, इनसे तो हम भाग रहे हैं." मैंने कहा, "Yeah, but
राइट,
you want to elevate your executive presence, then you have to work on your presence.
या
Presence is like pre-sense, कुछ भी होने वाला है, उसका
हुँ।
pre-sense क्या है?"
Before we get into the next thing, I would really love to know any example if you can give around the this self exercises that you practice कि what people should एक आधा चीज़ if you want to share जो वो practice करनी चाहिए
No, so
किसी
I
को।
do a lot of these.
हुँ,
I
या
use a lot of life coaching
हुँ,
tools and NLP tools.
राइट,
One of the tools that I use and I love using them is the values tool.
हुँ,
Values. Okay. Now, each
ओके,
person carries a lot of values, and
राइट,
values are things that are extremely important to us, very important to us.
हुँ,
So, and the core values that we talk about, they are non-negotiables.
या
Okay. Now, unless we know what our core values are, we will
हुँ,
continue to operate in conflict with either
ओके,
self or with others. Okay.
हुँ,
So I'll give you my own example.
हुँ,
I,
या
two of my core values are
हुँ,
responsibility and
हुँ।
independence. Now, can they coexist? Very difficult.
It's tough,
It's
it's
very
tough.
tough.
It's very parallel kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So there are times when I'm in major conflict between the two.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
because I have learned how to navigate and align myself,
Hmm.
it's easier for me to manage it. Otherwise, there was a time I would be so caught up in this. There was internal conflict, and because of that internal conflict, there was major conflict on the outside. Because
Hmm.
I was angry and frustrated, I was not able
Yeah.
to experience and live my independence. And I have
Hmm.
so many responsibilities at home, at work. There's so much going on. Then you don't
Hmm.
find time for yourself. So if you
Right.
don't have time for yourself, the independence is compromised.
Gone.
But because I've learned and I've gotten clarity on that, I'm able to
Hmm.
manage both, balance both, align both. And life is beautiful.
हाँ.
तो जब तक क्लैरिटी नहीं
Right.
होती वैल्यूज को, एक एक मेरे
Hmm.
क्लाइंट है, उन्होंने बोला मेरे को ये करना है,
Hmm.
मेरे को बड़ी गाड़ी लेनी है, मेरे को बड़ा घर लेना है, मेरी
Hmm.
घड़ी इतने की है, मेरा ये इतने का है।
Hmm.
ऐसे अब क्यों कर रहे हो ये सब? व्हाई आर
हाँ.
यू डूइंग इट?
Right.
बिकॉज आई लाइक इट। आई सेड व्हाई डू यू लाइक इट? Why do you like it? She said, no, I have
Hmm.
a taste for good things. I said, how do you know these are good things?
Very reflective.
How do you know these are good things? Who said so?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, so those were moments where like एक झटका लगता
कि
है.
हाँ ये क्या हुआ?
So slowly, eventually, we got to know that they're looking for status. है
हाँ.
ना? So did you know that happiness is a state of mind, and you can be happy without any of this?
Hmm.
So what is happening is they're running away again. They're caught up in the doing bit. They're not focusing on the
Yeah.
being.
Mhm.
तो अंदर से जब ये सब नहीं है, तो they will always be people pleasing. They will
Right.
always be trying to please others. See, we have this and we have
Hmm.
this and we have that.
Yeah.
So जो इंसान इन चीजों में caught up है, वो
Hmm.
अंदर से तो स्ट्रांग नहीं है ना,
खाली है.
है ना? अंदर से स्ट्रांग नहीं है,
Hmm.
तो उसको किसी भी छोटी सी कॉन्फ्लिक्टिंग सिचुएशन में या टफ
Hmm.
सिचुएशन में वो डीरेल हो जाएगा.
Hmm.
वो स्ट्रांग कैसे रहेगा? वो काम कैसे रहेगा? वो स्टेबल कैसे रहेगा? वो ग्राउंडेड कैसे रहेगा? नहीं रह सकता.
Absolutely.
It's very important to work on the inside. So I want to give you an example of this very
Hmm.
beautiful lush green tree. खूबसूरत
Hmm.
सा बड़ा
Okay.
सा ट्री है जो कि बड़ा फल रहा है,
Hmm.
फूल रहा है। बट उसमें क्या हो रहा है कि ऊपर तो सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा है, पर उसकी रूट्स
Hmm.
उतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं है।
Hmm.
तो तेज हवा का झोंका आया और पेड़ ने गिर जाना है।
Okay. Right.
तो what I'm trying to say here is that executive building a strong executive presence
Hmm.
is equal to working on your inner self,
Hmm.
और स्ट्रॉन्ग हेड के साथ साथ हार्ट को स्ट्रॉन्ग करना है। इट हैज टू बी अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ हेड एंड हार्ट, दे हैव टू बी इन
Head and heart.
कोहियरेंस, इन सिंक। कि जब जब आपका हेड बोले कि ये गलत है, तो हार्ट
Hmm.
हैज टू ओपन अप एंड से ओके, कैसे
Okay.
हैंडल कर सकता हूँ, एम्पैथेटिकली,
Hmm.
इमोशनली इंटेलिजेंटली, हाउ कैन आई नाइसली हैंडल दिस।
Yeah.
Can't be always logical, analytical, you know, reprimanding. तो वो
Yeah.
वहां से मैं कहती हूँ कि हार्ट का अंदर आना बहुत जरूरी है।
Hmm.
और वो क्या होता है ना, जूनियर लेवल पे ये सब करके आपका काम हो जाता है, फिर
हो
जैसे
जाता
जैसे
है.
आप सीनियर
Hmm.
सीएक्सओ लेवल पे पहुंच गए, सीएक्सओ लेवल पे
Hmm.
आपको इतनी बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मैनेज करनी है, डिफरेंट टाइप
Hmm.
के लोग मैनेज करने हैं, हंड्रेड्स ऑफ stakeholders are there that you have to manage.
हाँ.
But if you're not paying attention to who you have become or who you're becoming,
Hmm.
it's very tough. Very, very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे आपको अपने साथ भी तो जीना है,
Mhm.
घर भी वापस जाना है. आप अंदर से अगर खाली हो जाओगे या खुश नहीं हो, तो यहाँ पर भी अच्छा नहीं करोगे, घर पर भी नहीं करोगे, 24/7 फ्रस्ट्रेटेड भी रहोगे.
वही तो हो रहा है ना, वही तो हो रहा है जो आप कह रहे हो,
हम्म.
वही हो रहा है।
वही हो रहा है
और
एक्चुअली. हम्म.
खासकर सीनियर लेवल पे लोगों से, लीडर से मैं
राइट.
बात करती हूँ, वो शेयर करते हैं मेरे
हम्म.
साथ कि आई एम अनहैप्पी फादर,
हम्म.
क्योंकि मेरे मेरे पास गिल्ट है कि मैं टाइम स्पेंड नहीं कर पाता। मैंने कहा आप टाइम
राइट.
क्यों नहीं स्पेंड कर पाते? बोलते क्योंकि मेरे को वर्क मैनेज करना पड़ता है, मैं घर पे भी आके
हम्म.
अपने टीम को फॉलो अप करता रहता हूँ और उनसे बोलता हूँ कि ये क्यों नहीं किया,
राइट.
ये क्यों नहीं किया, ये भी करना था, ये भी करना था। मैंने कहा तो आप देखो
हम्म.
कि आप बोल रहे हो आप अनहैप्पी फादर हो, आप अपनी
हम्म.
टीम से पूछो क्या वो हैप्पी हैं आपसे?
हाँ.
क्योंकि आप खुद तो अनहैप्पी फादर हो, उनको भी अनहैप्पी बना रहे हो।
हम्म. एग्जैक्टली.
राइट? सो द वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस आपका सही नहीं है। आप खुद
हम्म.
को मैनेज करो, आप खुद को मैनेज करोगे तो आपकी
हम्म.
टीम भी मैनेज हो जाएगी, बच्चा भी मैनेज हो जाएगा, आपका टाइम भी मैनेज हो जाएगा। आप छोड़ नहीं पा रहे हो।
हम्म.
सो
किसी को
हाँ,
भी नहीं.
ऐसे मेरे पास हंड्रेड्स ऑफ एग्जाम्पल्स है that most of
हम्म.
the times, I would say 100% of times, we are caught up in our
हम्म.
own, trap, our own trap.
एग्जैक्टली.
100% of
हम्म.
the times. No organization will tell you to work 24/7.
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली. हमने खुद बिल्ड कर लिया है एक टाइम पर आकर कि नहीं, आई एम, अगेन वो आपकी वैल्यूज है मे बी, कि यू आर अ वेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबल और हार्ड वर्किंग पर्सन, तो आप शायद ले लेते हो अपने आप में ही कि नहीं, मुझे ही सारा देखना पड़ेगा. इट्स ओके. हो गया है शाम का टाइम, आप कल देख लेना.
सो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग आपने बात करी कि वो अपने ऊपर ले लेते हैं क्योंकि वो बहुत रिस्पॉन्सिबल है। मैं इसको
हम्म.
आपको एक दूसरा एंगल इसका दिखाती हूँ।
हम्म.
ये इस वजह से भी होता है क्योंकि वो दूसरों को ट्रस्ट नहीं कर पाते।
या.
उनको लगता है जो मैं कह रहा हूँ, जैसे मैं कर रहा हूँ वही सही
हम्म.
है, इसलिए
हम्म.
मेरी तरह से ही होना चाहिए। एंड व्हेन आई शो दिस मिरर टू माय क्लाइंट्स, समटाइम्स दे फील कि नहीं नहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है। सो देन देयर इज अ couple of question rounds, and ultimately they
हम्म.
say हाँ यही
ऐसा
ऐसे।
ही है.
अब समझ में आया कि मैं कर रहा हूँ, पर मैंने ऐसे सोचा नहीं पहले कभी।
हम्म. वो लैक ऑफ ट्रस्ट शायद लोगों में रहता
यस,
है, जिसको वो किसी तरह से रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी या हार्ड वर्क के कर्टन के पीछे रख लेते हैं एकदम शांति से, कि मैं नहीं हूं तो मैं ही बेस्ट.
करेक्ट।
और कोई कर
हाँ,
नहीं पाएगा.
क्योंकि वो जो पैशन होता है ना काम करने का, अच्छी बात है पैशन का
हम्म.
होना, पैशन इज इम्पोर्टेंट,
हम्म.
बट जब वो पैशन ऑब्सेशन बन जाए तो
तो
वो
गलत है.
गलत है, क्योंकि फिर आपको और कुछ नजर नहीं आएगा। तो आप चूज कर रहे
हम्म.
हो घर के टाइम,
Hmm.
बच्चे के टाइम पे भी ऑफिस का काम करना, यू आर चूजिंग इट. नहीं नहीं, इतना प्रेशर होता है,
Right.
बट इट्स अ चॉइस.
Hmm. It's a
It's
choice.
a choice. 24 years in the
Hmm.
corporate world, I was running, I was caught up in
Hmm.
doing, I was doing very well, I was acknowledged,
Yeah.
recognized, awarded in every job that I had. But I did not focus on being aspect of mine. And I regret that the kind of work life balance I would have
Hmm.
liked at that time, I didn't have it.
Hmm.
I mean, thank God, my both girls have turned out to be well rounded, very sane, head on the shoulder, very nice. But by lucky हो गया ये. मतलब मैं, I was so caught up in my jobs, I was flying here and
Huh.
there, and I had demanding jobs all the time. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, the kind of work life balance I would have ideally wanted, I didn't have it.
How do you think their growing up is different from yours? What are the new things that आप उनको अब सिखा रहे हैं जो शायद आपको पहले नहीं पता थी, but you want your girls to know before, early on?
So my girls have been brought up very differently, I would say. And
Hmm.
why differently? Because one, the whole etiquette and manners which I
Right.
knew, I taught them from
Hmm.
very early childhood. वो तो
Early nine.
पिछले 11-12 साल से तो उनकी कोचिंग हो रही है नॉन स्टॉप. जब से मैं कोच बनी हूँ, तब से तो उनकी कोचिंग
Hmm.
हो रही है. उससे पहले वैसे उनको मैंने जितना मैं सिखा सकती थी मैंने
Hmm.
सिखाया है. I think all of these things have really helped them grow as very, very
Hmm.
matured, responsible, and
Right.
sane girls. So,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, I'm very proud of them.
उन्होंने बस अपब्रिंगिंग में सीख लिया होता है खुद, वो ऐसा नहीं है कि उनको फीड करना पड़ेगा, वो दे जस्ट अडैप्ट ऑन देयर ओन और वो हो जाता है.
They're able to read the room. So, one of the aspects of executive
हाँ.
presence is how to read the room,
रीडिंग द
reading
रूम.
the room, right? So,
हम्म.
क्या हो रहा है, कौन है, क्या expected है, how to blend in, how
हम्म.
to be intentional, how to be conscious. So,
हम्म.
they're able to manage that. They
हम्म.
blend it. Yeah.
So speaking of touching on the reading the room aspect, so we'll just talk about a little bit about the boardroom aspect. Everyone are so obsessed with getting a seat at the
Mm.
table, but they actually do not know how to take care of that seat, how to own that seat. So how do you make that seat truly matter? आप आ तो गए, अब उसके आगे क्या? अब आपको अपना presence कैसे realize करवाना है उस room में?
Hmm. So, good question. And very, very valid question because a lot of people keep asking me about
Hmm.
this. So, boardroom में आप आ गए हो, अब आपको कैसे अपना
Hmm.
presence feel कराना है? तीन ही aspect हैं कि how you're showing
Hmm.
up, how you're speaking up, and how
Hmm.
you're conducting yourself. You have to
Hmm.
put yourself nicely together, proper clothes, आपका स्टैंड अच्छा होना चाहिए, पावरफुल तरीके से आप ड्रेस कीजिए, फिर रूम में एंटर कीजिए, सबके साथ में हेलो कीजिए, आंखों में आंखें
Hmm.
डाल के लीन फॉरवर्ड with a smile, greet everybody, come on time, not coming late, and then slowly pull your chair, sit down, sit straight, not slouching, not going forward, not
Yeah.
going backward,
Hmm.
sit nicely, huh?
Straight.
And then be ready, get your whatever your pen and paper, file, whatever you
Hmm.
need to carry, and just be prepared.
We often see abhi bhi the CXOs, the women out there or men. So when there is a combination of both, women still feel a little
Hmm.
cautious in the boardrooms, even up until now, even if they know everything.
So it's a good question, Muskan. But do you think it's happening even today? Because I coach a lot of strong women, and I think they have a
Hmm.
voice in the boardroom.
Hmm.
But I agree with you that in some places it must be happening.
Hmm.
And I do have some clients who
Right.
feel that if we speak up, we are not taken seriously. Okay.
Hmm.
So yes, women should speak up, and
Right.
they should not be quiet. That people will
Hmm.
dismiss them. They should not have a fear of rejection, fear of dismissal,
Hmm.
and a fear of
Right.
judgment. Because if they are
Hmm.
in the boardroom, they have to believe in themselves.
Likewise, on the contrary note, do you feel that men also have this kind of pressure that they are expected to be always confident?
I coach more men clients than female clients. I have
Hmm.
more male clients than female clients. So, yes, men have this. performance pressure, and they also
Hmm.
have a fear of judgment. They also have a fear of
Hmm.
rejection, fear of failure. So yes, it's both men and women that go through it.
Okay, now we'll move a little bit towards different concepts of appearances in executive presence. We have seen even up until now that among the leaders there is still that kind of attitude that I do not care how I look, and they wear it as literally a badge of honor. I let my work do the
Mm.
talkings. A lot of people have that kind of
Mm.
mindset. Why do you think people not pay attention to it and still see it as a taboo? Dressing up or presenting yourself well. Do you think it's still a taboo even up until now?
Yes, it is. One of my recent assignments was, I will not name um,
Hmm.
the
Okay.
person or the company, but it's a very large group of hotels.
Hmm.
And one of their CXOs was my client, and I
Hmm.
was brought in
Hmm.
only for this at the CXO level.
Hmm.
So I was brought in by the company to do the appearance management for him, and I
Hmm.
had to work with him on changing his entire wardrobe. Yeah,
Okay.
I went, helped him with his personal shopping, helped him
Hmm.
build an all new wardrobe, worked on his body
Hmm.
language, his clothing, his grooming, his communication, all of that, because they said he's a successful person. We really want him in the system. We like him, but we can't
Hmm.
tell him this. We've tried, it's not working.
Yeah.
So now we want an expert to come and do this for us. So I worked with him, and a lot
Hmm.
of positive feedback I got from him, his family,
Hmm.
and the organizing team,
Hmm.
that everything changed. And so I'll tell you why he didn't do it. It's not that he was not
Yeah.
aware. He was aware,
Hmm.
right? CXO level, he doesn't
Right.
know. He knows, and it's a
He
hotel
knows.
chain, 5-star hotel, right?
Hmm.
So he knew it. Why he wasn't doing it
Hmm.
is because he thought that the intelligent kids don't need this.
Hmm.
That intellectual people don't need this.
Right.
He said ये सब फालतू है. बचपन से उनको ये बताया गया था कि पढ़ाई करो,
Hmm.
पढ़ाई करो, पढ़ाई में होशियार रहो, अच्छे मार्क्स लाओ, बाकी सब बेकार है.
Hmm.
ऐसे मेरे पास और भी क्लाइंट्स आए, बट मैं इनका एग्जांपल दे.
So, speaking of dressing up, so what does powerful dressing look like actually? Because even among women, there is this concept they are not well aware what actually dressing up feels like. Sometimes they go too on with the makeup, or they are completely reluctant towards it. कि नहीं makeup तो नहीं ही हो सकता है कि ऐसा जाना है. What's the perfect balance of this powerful appearance?
So power is very important. Power is a
Hmm.
very important aspect of executive presence. Okay.
Hmm.
पावर आपके कपड़ों से दिखती है, पावर आपकी आवाज
Hmm.
से दिखती है, पावर आपकी
Hmm.
ग्रूमिंग से दिखती है, पावर आपके
Hmm.
बिहेवियर से दिखती है, और पावर आपके कम्युनिकेशन से दिखती है.
Right.
You have to dress conservatively,
Hmm.
consciously, and
Hmm.
professionally. सो कंजर्वेटिव का मतलब है कि आप कॉन्शियसली ड्रेस कर रहे हैं, कि जो
Hmm.
भी इंसान प्रोफेशनल सिनेरियो में आपसे बात कर रहा है, उसका फोकस
Hmm.
उस पे रहे जिस पे आप बोल रहे हैं, जो आप बोल रहे हैं, बिकॉज यू आर इन अ
Hmm.
बिजनेस सेटिंग. यू आर नॉट इन अ क्लब,
Right.
यू आर नॉट एट
Hmm.
होम, यू आर नॉट इन अ
Hmm.
मॉल, right? So you are at work, and at work what you say matters, and that's where the focus should be, nowhere else.
Right.
हाउ मच मेकअप यू शुड वेयर, सो आप बड़ी बड़ी
Hmm.
हील्स पहन के आप ऑफिस जाएंगे, वो गलत है.
Hmm.
वर्किंग शूज पहनिए, आपको हील्स पहनिए, पहन सकते हैं, बट नॉट सो हाई, बिकॉज जब आप आइल में वॉक कर रहे हैं, अपने ऑफिस में वॉक कर रहे हैं, टक 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 इज अ
Tuck, tuck,
डिस्ट्रैक्शन
tuck.
फॉर एवरीबडी एल्स.
Hmm.
सो बी कॉन्शियस. ओपन
Hmm.
सैंडल्स हम नहीं रेकमेंड करते हैं एज कंसल्टेंट्स. वी
Hmm.
से क्लोज शूज पहनिए,
Close.
स्ट्रक्चर्ड बैग लीजिए, सटल मेकअप
Hmm.
कीजिए, सटल ज्वेलरी पहनिए. इतना भी एक्सेसराइज मत
Hmm.
कीजिए कि मैं आपसे बात कर रही हूँ तो आपकी एक्सेसरीज को ही देख रही हूँ,
पे ध्यान
आपके
जा रहा
आप जो
है.
कह रहे हो उस पर ध्यान नहीं दे रही हूँ.
Hmm.
What you want to create in that space, are you careful, conscious and professional or not? So otherwise क्या होगा कि because I get distracted, आपकी
Hmm.
पावर कम हो जाती है.
We have spoken a lot about the executive presence, different aspects about it. I would really love to know that you have actually written a book because it is exactly based on.
Yes, I've written a book on executive presence, how one can elevate their executive presence using the poise, power, and
Hmm.
performance, the three
Yeah.
P's. Okay.
Okay.
And poise is to do with calmness, composure,
Hmm.
emotional maturity, stability. Power talks about various aspects: mental power, physical power, emotional power, power through appearance, dressing, grooming, all aspects
Hmm.
of it. And performance is the blend of poise and power in performance, where we talked about not what you do, but how you do it. And performance doesn't mean that you settle for mediocrity, you always aim for excellence. Okay, so
Right.
this book is definitely going to help all the leaders, everybody who wants to build on the executive presence. It's a tool book because it has a lot of case studies, a lot of real time stories, a lot of self reflection questions, a lot of exercises, activities. So, this will be like a tool book for anyone who wants to build on their executive presence.
It's definitely going to be a guide for the people who are looking to understand the concept of presence. It
Yes.
will definitely help them out on this note.
Yes, it is. The whole idea of writing this book was that I can only coach so many people. I can't reach out
Right.
to a much larger,
Hmm.
audience. And I thought this book will help those people who I can't coach directly, but they still
Hmm.
need help in this area. And this book will be very,
Right.
very helpful. And it is a very critical topic these days because with the Gen Z coming in into the
Hmm.
workplace, there is a dire need of building executive presence for the leaders so they can inspire the newer generation, so they can create the right impact on the newer generation, and they can get,
Hmm.
really build a high performing team because it's not
Hmm.
easy to manage the Gen Zs. That's a different topic altogether, and I'd love to talk to you about
Yeah.
it some other time. But it's difficult. But what we can do as the older generation is that we can work on our
Hmm.
executive presence, elevate our
Hmm.
leadership style, and
Hmm.
that's going to really help. And I will take this opportunity to mention that on the similar lines, I also have a leadership retreat that I have designed. This year will be the first batch, which will be a 3.5 day offsite leadership retreat that will be done in the first one will be done at Jim Corbett,
Oh,
in the
nice.
serene Jim Corbett, one of the places. And it'll be a life changing retreat for any leader who wants to come and build on their executive presence. Because
Hmm.
this leadership retreat will have a 3.5 day routine, which will reset them for a much stronger being and much stronger presence in the professional world, because it starts with the grounding meditation,
Hmm.
really helping them connect with themselves because they've been running and doing a lot of stuff. But when they come there, they will unwind, they will learn new skills, there will be workshops during the day, there'll be powerful activities in the
Hmm.
evening. In the morning, they'll have a morning ritual of some breath work, some grounding, some meditation. And it'll be a beautiful experience. Aqua meditation,
Wow.
fire walking, glass walking, brilliant, brilliant stuff. So 3.5 days, they go back new, absolutely
Hmm.
renewed and new. And they will be able to demonstrate a much stronger presence there. So that's the idea.
This sounds very interesting to me as
Yeah.
well. You are intriguing me more.
So it'll be for
Yeah.
corporate leaders, CXO level
Hmm.
leaders, all the
Hmm.
any entrepreneur, any business owner who would like to
Hmm.
elevate their presence. Everyone who has to work with other people must do it, in my view, because it
Yeah.
is about and also for your own self. It's not just for others. It's for
Hmm.
your own self. You elevate yourself
Yeah.
so much that you find it easy to work with people. You just find it so easy to
Right.
navigate, difficult
Hmm.
situations, conflicts, because you just become that easygoing person. and nothing changes. You're still
Right.
achieving, you're still a high performer, but you're doing it in a much better way. So that's the outcome.
That's a beautiful thought you have given to this exercise. It's really good. But before I let you go, I'll do a very quick bites round with you.
Okay. I haven't
Yeah,
prepared for
yeah.
that one. So let's go with the flow.
Uh, yeah, you have to go with the flow with me
Okay.
on that. Just say whatever comes to your
Okay.
mind
Okay.
first. Very chill. Yeah. For you, presence killer in 3 words.
Bad dressing and grooming,
Hmm.
rude conversation, and inauthentic behavior.
Got it. An outfit that makes you feel powerful.
Black trouser and a black blazer, black shoes. Yeah, a shirt
Amazing.
can be any color. I would rather go for a
Hmm.
bright red or blue or white, any of those
Loved
colors.
it.
Yeah. And a nice pearl necklace with the
Oh,
pearl
yeah.
studs. Yes.
Have to add the pop of
Yes.
color. And what's Samira's power color and why?
So my power color used to be black. When I was in the
Hmm.
corporate, the only color I wore was black, blue, navy blue, and
Hmm.
gray. But today, I have a lot of power colors. I would say red is one of my power colors.
Tell me one compliment that you have ever gotten about your presence and you have never forgotten it. That stays with you.
Yeah. So, I get this often, and I
Hmm.
really like it. People say that,
Yeah.
Samira, you exude confidence. You
Beautiful.
exude confidence. And I still remember when I was given this compliment for the first time. So, and I also get this, that you have this really calm aura around you. So these two
Hmm.
things are the compliments that have really stayed with me. And I believe, I'm sorry, I'm taking this extra minute because I know it's a
No,
rapid
no.
fire round. But the confidence, the strong sense of self, the
Hmm.
clarity, the belief in myself, and I think that works. That's the key for, if you say that what should people take away from this whole interview, what should they work on the most,
Hmm.
is the self belief and confidence. Because that, if you have that, you navigate from a lot of stuff very easily. You're not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of what people will say about me. I'm not afraid of
Right.
pleasing everybody. I'm not afraid
Hmm.
of losing relationships. I'm not afraid of a lot of other things because I have
Yeah.
clarity in what who I am and what I want from life. And I've
Hmm.
gotten to this space after a lot of hard work and self work. So yeah, if you have that inside, you project that out the outside.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thought
Yeah.
indeed. Coming back to the next one. What's your go-to move for making an impression? Is it a smile, a good handshake, eye contact? What's your one go-to
All
move?
of the above. All of the above. But if you
Great.
didn't have the opportunity to shake hands, I would
Shake
say
hands.
a nice, genuine smile. And
Hmm.
if you can't shake hand, you can say hi from far. But
Yeah.
a smile is absolutely a icebreaker.
What do you do when you feel underconfident?
Oh,
What's your go-to move?
it doesn't happen.
Oh wow.
You may not believe it, but it doesn't happen. I'm never underconfident. Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
amazing. And what's on a very lighter note, what's your guilty pleasure on a low energy day? You're not feeling to work or do anything. What would you do? Just to chill
You
and
want
have
the
fun.
secrets out?
Yes, please. I am not gonna let you go if I don't get any tea.
Okay, have an ice cream, the hot chocolate fudge. Okay,
Yeah,
and do the binge watching on either
yeah.
Netflix or Prime or GeoStar or whatever, something that I'll watch, and I'll keep telling myself, hey, you deserve it. It's okay. You can do it. Yeah.
Great, because it's at the end of the day, there is a very simple person who loves all these little things behind the curtains of what they are. So it's very important to have those days when you just want to indulge in your guilty
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pleasures.
I'll probably book a massage for myself, but massage is more like a routine. So I would say when I want
Hmm.
to just relax, unwind, and not do anything, then this is
Hmm.
what I will choose to do. because this is
Okay.
not healthy. This is not
Yeah.
healthy, and this is not my first preference.
Hmm.
But I will do this. I
Right.
will do this, and I will not
Yeah.
feel guilty.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thought. You must not feel guilty
Yes.
and you must savor it.
Sure.
Yeah. So, okay, great. Okay, towards the end, I'll say, Ki, do you have any advice or anything for all the entrepreneurs out there that you would want to say?
Yeah, I would just say that stop and smell the roses.
Hmm.
Don't keep running for what you want to do. Everybody seems to be running very hard today to achieve a lot. Materialistic things are important. I get it. While we are alive, we have to enjoy all of those things.
Hmm.
But don't forget yourself. Slow down,
Yeah.
pause, reflect, take time out for yourself. Go for holidays, but instead of going just for holidays and spending money, go for meaningful retreats. Uh, you know, uh, Go somewhere where you can build on your health, go somewhere where you can
Yeah.
build on a skill, go somewhere where you can just rejuvenate yourself. So there are a lot of meaningful retreats across the globe today. So don't just
Hmm.
go for a simple holiday, but opt for retreats where you can be more, do more, and be more.
Right.
That would be my advice. And just buy my book and elevate your executive presence.
Presence.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay, this was lovely. This was lovely. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this conversation. Thoroughly
Thank you.
enjoyed, I'd say. Yeah. When you said that you have gotten the compliment that you exude confidence and you create that feeling of calm, if we are counting on the people, please consider me one as well. And I'm not saying this out of flattery. I'm actually saying it because I felt it.
Thank you. Thank you so
You
much.
also made me feel confident. You also made me feel calm. You made my cautiousness disappear. And thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Muskan, for having me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for doing this. And I enjoyed the conversation with you. Keep that smile on. You are pretty and you're charming.
Thank you so much. That means a lot coming from you. Thank you. Thank you so much again for your time and everything, all the insights that I've gotten. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Muskan. It was a pleasure.